How's it going, everybody? We are back virtually with another one of our Zoom interviews. I'm Harrison Singer, and there's a lot going on here right now. Let me tell you, we have Khari making his long-awaited return. He's been chilling out in London for the last few months. Khari, representing the Juice with me. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'm excited. It's good to be back in the flow of doing the Juice, for sure.
It's great to have you back. There's, it just feels like kind of natural. Something was missing this whole time, But a little bit of a drum roll, because we have a very, 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 very special guest with us over Zoom. We've been playing a little bit of phone tap trying to get this locked in, and I'm so glad that we finally have been. The one and only Ariyon.
What's up, y'all, man?
If you've seen any episode of Rhythm and Flow, you probably remember him as one of the most talented contestants by a long shot on the show.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna be chopping up with Ariyon for however long it may be, but we're gonna talk about things from the start, making music, what it's like growing up in the city of Chicago like you did, and whatever else kind of just comes to mind, and whatever might be relevant. But how are you doing, Ariyon? How's it going?
Man, it's going good, man. I'm living life. I'm learning, growing. Man, I'm just be grateful for every opportunity. I'm grateful for life, man.
Absolutely. With COVID going on, right? It's affected everyone, especially artists. How you been through all that?
Man, coronavirus, it never affected me personally, but it definitely affected like some of my family members, like some of my family, my aunties and my granddad. He got like coronavirus, but it's nothing too big.
You have family members who got it?
It definitely stopped the money though, for sure, but I'm pretty sure 2021 is going to be a better year.
How would you kind of describe, I guess, the last 12 months? I guess as an artist, but as a person, like what's the last year been like for you?
For the past 12 months, bro, my life has changed tremendously. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but for the most part, if I look at how my life was last year, even 2 years ago, it's a drastic change. Rhythm and Flow, of course, everybody know about it. Like Rhythm and Flow changed my life. I'm able to do things that, I normally wouldn't do. I'm able to provide for my family. I'm able to provide for myself. And despite the downs, I've just been, like I said, I've been grateful. I've been taking every day as an opportunity to learn spiritually, mentally, even physically. Like I'm just learning my body. I'm learning other people. And I'm just getting right with God. You
mentioned like the ups and downs. I think with this time being indoors for a lot of people, and especially with you have something as big like an international pandemic, right? And everyone's at home and they're on their phones or they have access to a computer. People choose to go about that in all different ways. A lot of people choose to read up and get on their spiritual grind, maybe connect with God, whatever it may be. And I feel like this has been a time that's separated, kind of the lions and the sheep, you can almost say. Would you say you've kind of been fulfilled in that regard and you've made those kinds of strides?
Yeah. So I think for like the past couple of months, one thing that I learned by myself is just to have alone time. I know a lot of people be like, well, if you be alone, you're not going to have as much fun. But I think to help me grow spiritually, mentally, staying by myself and just, realizing my flaws, finding the shadow side of me, you know what I'm saying? One thing about other people, they don't like to find the bad side. They don't really like portraying the bad side about them. They don't really like trying to figure out what's going on with them. So I took some time for my mental health. I took some time to just figure out what was going on, what was stopping me from, reaching my success. Just being alone, meditating, stop smoking weed, learning more about myself, learning more about my body, about music, and spending time with family. I think ultimately that just changed my life even more, and it made me closer to God.
There you go. I was going to ask, what ways have you been doing it? Have you been meditating? Have you been praying? Have you been reading? So,
yes, sir.
One person that comes to mind, at least publicly, the way that he's portrayed himself is NLE Choppa, right? I don't know if you've seen the wave he's been on. Like they're calling him NLE Choppa right now.
Yes, sir. I respect it.
Absolutely. I think the world needs a lot more of that light.
I honestly feel like NLE Choppa is on to something. Like, he's trying to put out a positive message. He's trying to put out some music that not only affect the people, but like, what I'm saying, his kids or the generation that's going to be after him. But, I respect it.
What I personally resonate, and this interview is about you, we're going to talk all about you. But what personally resonate about him with me, and I'm hoping you could attest to this, is literally everything he's talking about. Like, I know that God real, not the way that they had told us. And just kind of the way that he's getting in touch with the universe and kind of accessing his, what you can call like his divinity or whatnot. It's crazy because he's like 18 and you're going through this right now, apparently, this spiritual awakening, and you're young as hell too. So it's just like, it blows my mind that you guys are younger than I am, for crying out loud. And you guys are, you know, developing at a young age like that.
Yeah, man. For sure. It's not something, I just turned 20 not too long ago.
There you go.
And I feel like for any upcoming rappers or anybody that's in the industry, I feel like it's just important for them to understand what they're going against and what they're putting themselves into. I just feel like when you're in this industry, like, I feel like it's a lot of demons, it's a lot of evil in this industry. So if you just come in this industry just thinking, you know, I'm about to go in here and rap, you got to really know what you're going through. You got to really see and be observant of everything around you. I feel like for a long career and a long, healthy life, you have to have God in your life, man. You got to stay woke. I'm not against anybody that's not woke, that's not, you know, they don't have all the information, but I definitely recommend it to everybody.
I mean, this is stuff that I'm talking with my friends off camera and stuff all the time. Stuff, the inner workings of the industry and how artists kind of, I mean, totally out of their control can get caught up in some bullshit, whether it be, you know, the presence of God lacking or whatever it may be. You know, it's, I guess what a lot of people might be curious to know about you, though, is your humble beginnings in music before you know, getting to the point where you're at now. Like, how did you originally start rapping? How did you start making music?
I started rapping from my brother and my sister. I was the youngest out of three. My oldest brother, my oldest sister, I was the baby in the family. And I wasn't really into music until I was, 6, 7 years old. And my brother used to always write, my sister used to always write poetry. And I just used to be around them, like, how do they put these words together? Like, how they make these words rhyme? Or what's the metaphors, the similes? That's something that I was just caught up on when I was early. Like, it was something that I was just fascinated about. And over time, I started practicing and practicing. My brother used to always put on, I don't know if you guys remember, but these was like music video, like MTV or BET. It was either one of those, but you had to turn the channel on at a specific time to see certain videos. So it was around like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. My brother always put on MTV or BET, and those music videos would come on, and it was so fun to me because it was something that I love. It was something that I wanted to do. And I started taking it serious around, like, really serious. I started taking it after, freshman year in high school. I was 14 years old. And my teacher called me to say an open verse. Like, we had this little, journal day. So I was like one of those kids that stayed in the corner. I didn't want to talk. So he called me up. He was like, Ariyon, come say your open verse in your journal. And I said it, not thinking that it was going to go over people's heads. Like, it made people like, damn, that shit is hard. I said it. And I had the whole class like, damn, like, why you not taking this serious? Like, why you not going crazy? And then after that, it's been history.
You remember it or any of it, like, by heart?
Man, do I remember that? Yeah, actually, it was the same rap that I said in the cypher. It's the same rap that I had in the thing.
In rhythm and flow?
Yes.
Oh, man. It ended up serving you well in the long run, I mean.
Yeah, it was used in the cypher. With the cypher beat, I was like, bro, it was a beat that I wasn't so used to, and I didn't have no verse that can go with that besides the one I did in high school. So I was like, okay, let me do it. And it took off. Like, it became like the main little thing in the cypher. So
my family not understanding me, seeing my daddy, he wasn't a man to me. Niggas abandoned me, nobody there for me, and it was making me hating my family.
That little boy can rap.
I was blessed enough to have that.
That's mad cool. So, like, on the show, you mentioned, like, the cypher beat, like, kind of throwing you off a bit. What was, because in your music, like, you're really versatile from what I can tell, and, like, switching through different beats on the show. So, like, what was your experience with that? Like, how did you find that? Did you get to pick your beats, or, like?
Yeah, my audition tape was just the acapella. But
Right.
Once they see your audition tape, they basically put you in the next round. So the next round would be the real audition with Chance the Rapper, Twisted, the episode of the Chicago with me, bro. So I was able to choose my beat for that, but after that, I wasn't able to choose my beat. I was able to choose what I wanted to wear. Basically, yeah, I just was able to choose the beat. Other than that, I couldn't choose it.
Right.
Yeah.
And given, like, how versatile you are, because obviously you mentioned, like, you started being inspired by your siblings' poetry, and you definitely have that conscious edge.
Yeah.
and you talk about your experiences. But then you can also like mix it up and do like harder songs and cap your style. Given all the tools at your disposal and like the spiritual journey you've been on, what's your kind of lane for when you really break out with your tape and like really dropping more music because people want to hear it?
I'm so glad that you asked that, bro, because that was something that I had to figure out for a long, long time. So I come from the east side of Chicago, and I wouldn't say that my music is drill influenced, but I'm a conscious rapper, but I know for sure I want my mixtape to have some bangers on that. Like, it's always cool to get inside that element of being conscious, but I also want to have bangers that make people nod their head and party too. But for the most part, just staying real to who I am, that was something that I tried to figure out for a very, very long time, and I think I'm getting it now. I'm still learning, but I'm able to be versatile with my music by being who I truly am. And it was kind of hard for me because I'm light-skinned, you know what I'm saying? Like, light-skinned, curly hair. I come from the east side of Chicago. My music is not always going to be just conscious. I got to talk about the struggles. I got to talk about the hardships, and I got to bring that gritty feel because that's where I'm from. But like I said, at the end of the day, I just be who I truly am, and I talk about the struggles and my everyday experiences. But I do it in a way where nobody else is doing it. Well, I'm not going to say when nobody else is doing it, but I'm doing it in a way where they can elevate somebody else thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Khari mentioned that versatility. I mean, depending on the song, you can bounce from vibes that would replicate those of Chicago legends. Like, it could be G Herbo on one track.
I remember nights I cried, it ate me alive. My homie got shot in the neck, it caught me by surprise. She told me that she loved me, but I found out that she lied. They shooting around the block, my mama ain't want me outside.
A Polo G vibe on another.
As a youngin' I started this rapping, I don't with a label when I talk on a settlement. Why these bitches be all on my dick and they see me, they swallowing dick like it's medicine. That 30 be married to them and it just got a body and stop being celibate. Why these niggas be mad at me and they was jealous of me cause I be in my element.
Could be twisted.
Hey, I'ma find a way, give a fuck about a hater, say politic, and then I'm wishing I'ma live another day. Cops, do you see a black man around the corner? No, I think he went the other way. Young nigga pay attention who you was getting with. Bullets cut you looking like it's a kitchen kid. You think your homie the realest when your bitch was cheating? That's a nigga that she was cheating with.
The offerings are endless.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I try to be as versatile as possible, but I'm influenced by a lot of Chicago artists that came out Chicago, but I try to do it in my own way, bro. You know, I'm trying to set my own way. I don't want to be a copycat of anybody else. I think in the industry, a lot of people like individuality. Nobody wants to be themselves. Everybody wants to be a replica of something. So, and I feel like in my city, a lot of artists try to replicate Polo G, G Herbo. There's nothing wrong with being influenced by them, but like taking that whole style and just putting it on a track is like, I might as well listen to Polo G or the person that you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like individuality is one of the most important things. Is the most important thing in the industry. Just being who you are. There's nothing wrong with being influenced with other people. Just make it your own wave. Like, if people just set their own wave, then I feel like the industry would be more fun and we'll have better music.
Khari and I were literally just talking about that exact concept, you know, before we hopped on. We were talking about originality in the industry, just in music today. Because ironically enough, I guess, you've probably heard the name because he's recently came onto the scene. This guy, Mario Judah.
Mario Judah, yeah. I actually like him, though.
He's definitely very distinct, very unique, and I completely see how he's going to, you know, gain a name and get a crowd now. The thing is, Mario Judah dropped a few tracks fucking with Cardi a little bit, and we were talking about, like, he literally told everyone that he's copying Cardi. And I feel like if you look at the industry now, especially with mumble rap and the influence I guess Cardi has, for me, I feel like there are like 30 or 40 Lil Uzi Verts out there at this point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, that's the premise of what I was getting at. And it's like, if you're going to jack someone, like you were just saying, like not even jack, but if you're going to be a replica almost of an artist that proved themselves before you, at least just admit it. And the fact that you're trying to stay original is so commendable, you know? I love it.
Yeah. Instead of just taking somebody else's shit, like we get too many of those I'm going to take this person's shit and not give no acknowledgement. Like, I respect somebody to be like, yeah, I get my flow from this person. So what? You know, that's different. Like, but if it's people that just bluntly taking your shit and just using it as theirs, like, I hate that type of stuff.
That might be something. You're young. You're just starting out. And if someone said you weren't talented, they'd be an idiot for saying that, you know? Like, so a young, talented guy who is definitely blazing his own path and is being unique. You almost have to look out for yourself potentially and down the road, but you seem well equipped to do that.
I'm trying, man. I didn't have it. I'm not gonna sit up here and have this poise like I had this shit all figured out, bro. I'm just learning. I'm learning, like I said, every day. And when you're doing things solo, let me be honest with you, like I didn't have like a big ass team behind me, bro. Me getting on Rhythm and Flow, me being on the show, and everything that I've done, I did it by myself. I never had a team. I never had like a manager with me until later on. I'm speaking like this because for anybody upcoming, just like me, that need guidance or that don't have a team, I'm telling you, it's possible, bro. You just got to sacrifice a lot of shit, and you got to really be committed, invest in yourself, and just sacrifice who you were yesterday for the betterment tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a major key, and it's good that you kind of realized that. I kind of wanted to shift a little bit back to the show. I was just wondering, like, with performing in front of Twista and Royce da 5'9" and Chance specifically, obviously Royce is from Michigan, but kind of that Midwest. Were those guys that you, like, kind of grew up listening to?
Yeah, I grew up listening to Twista, for sure, Twista. Actually, my pops knew Twista back in the day. But Royce da 5'9", I didn't start listening to him until I started listening to Slaughterhouse. And Slaughterhouse came together. I'm like, oh, Royce da 5'9", he actually cold. Like, you know, Joe Budden, this Puerto Rican guy, I forgot his name, Crooked Eye, Yellow Wolf. Like, I used to listen to all of them. But when I started growing up and like started really getting to my music, I started listening to Twista a lot. And I'm like, man, this nigga cold, you know. But when I was around 15, 16, that's when I started getting a chance to rap a book. My sister was listening to him. I first listened to acid rap and fell in love with that.
Joel Ortiz is who you were thinking of.
Yeah,
Joel
that's
Ortiz.
him, right. I knew it was something.
Yeah. But great that you mentioned Chance the Rapper. Like, first of all, it must have been, as a Chicago native, it must have been crazy. Like, in my opinion, you might have very well been the most talented contestant on the show. But again, like being, I think you were 17 at the time, 17, 18, right?
I was 18 years old. I just turned 18 when the show happened.
Can you confirm I think you were the youngest contestant, right?
Yeah, I was the youngest on the show, yeah.
That's crazy. So all things considered, that especially, you were clearly, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like from the viewer's perspective, you were understandably nervous. Yeah. Was Chance the Rapper the one that stuck out and was like, oh shit, like this is the guy that's giving me the butterflies, I think, more than anyone? Was anyone in particular?
I will say this. I wouldn't know exactly what Chance was feeling, but I know they felt like I deserved to be on the show, so I was on the show. I could say that. I don't know exactly how everybody was feeling, but just having Chance the Rapper, T.I., Cardi B saying I can rap, and T.I. is letting me know that I'm a star and I can do it.
Ariyon, I think you can be a star.
Like a baby. You're like a baby.
I thought they shaped my mustache up so I could look like I'm like 22 or something. They don't look like nothing, no. I can see it a little bit. I know. This don't feel real. That's T.I. Bro, that's Cardi B. My dream girl said I look like a baby, like, oh my God. Damn, man. I got a mustache just for her.
Just having that encouragement, that support, it really sparks something in me to do better. Like I said, not only spiritually, not only mentally, but my art. I can say this for sure. When I left the show, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, I might get in trouble. But when I left the show, literally after I messed up the battle, the executive producer of the show called me. He was like, so how do it feel knowing you was the favorite of the show? That's exactly what he told me. He was like, so how does it feel? Like, it kind of made me, I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, I just messed up. It had me feeling depressed for a moment. He called me. He was like, yeah, so how does it feel knowing you was the favorite of the show? And I'm like, and he hung up the phone. I didn't even say nothing. He hung up the phone.